Hello everyone, this is Epic Speakerman speaking. This video will analyze all episodes of Season 19, find out what happened there, and what unexpected moments could expect us in the next episodes or in the future.
Very beginning of the 57th series, we see three friends who are sitting on the roof in the shelter and watching what is happening, hiding from the explosions that tighten Speakerman. In the leftmost corner of the screen, there is a thoughtful agent who is not watching what is happening behind the shelter where he is sitting. Most likely, this cameraman wants to stay alive from such explosions. In episode 56, we saw a cameraman who was afraid of everything. It turns out he was able to escape from the attacks of the captured Titan, Speakerman, and did not chase those who ran away from him. After the second attack of the captured Titan, Speakerman, cameraman moves to the edge of the roof on which he is standing and starts to watch what is happening. The series continues in the same area where the battles in series 55 and 56 took place. Looking at him, we see his partners running away from his attacks and how he kills Big Cameraman. After killing him, he blows up the rest of the soldiers who are running away. The cameraman behind the techniques gives him an energy attack, but he fails and Speakerman destroys it. We can see that this is an improved technique, but it is in no way comparable to the one that was destroyed in episode 55. It was made more protected and increased the power of the energy laser. But even this power is not enough to kill the Skibidi parasite inside the captured Titan. But why was this tech created and sent to their neighborhood? If it doesn't work on the Titan, we saw in episode 37, the tech hit the Skibidi parasite. Maybe there are more captured cameramans to be released, but why attack the Titan, Speakerman? I think to delay the arrival of the Titan cameraman. Most likely using the technique against the Skibidi parasite. They remembered that G-Man once defended Titan from the laser attack of this technique and destroyed it. When he saw the Titan cameraman, we can clearly see that his eye became triangular. Looking 56 series, he had a square eye. We see the Titan cameraman fly to the place where he is and suddenly change his shape. We have not seen such changes in him before. Hiding the cameras that were on his shoulders, he put a defense near his core that holds his life and put his weapons on his shoulders. Why would he do that? We saw in episode 50 when he revealed the core and destroyed the blue fire of the Skibidi Toilet. I think it's because the core is the main weakness of the Titans and the scientists decided to protect it. Landing in front of him, we see him unhappy with the Titans captured Speakerman. Opposite him again is a man who we saw in the 55th episode. But at the beginning of the series, we did not see neither him nor a salad color near him. It turns out that this man is able to teleport and the lard-colored glow means that he is teleporting. Maybe he will join this battle soon. After the start of the Battle of the Titans, we also did not see the man with the light. He had time to teleport to another place during this time. Attacking with his weapon 2 times, the Titan cameraman advances and we see him holding a shield that was not there a couple of seconds ago. Most likely, this is due to his cameras only after their disappearance. He was able to close his core and the shield may also be one of the hidden parts of the weapon. He approached the Speakerman and with 2 strikes he takes off, and both of them shoot at each other with their weapons. No one hits and coming closer to the Titan cameraman, takes him by the leg and throws him against the ground. As I said in the analysis of the 55th episode, it will be hard for Titan cameraman to fight in long-range combat because his weapon in the 55th episode was destroyed by the dead Skibidi Toilet, and he had no long-range weapon in stock. A radio attack pushes him away, but he can't avoid an attack from the Titan cameraman. After the attack, he falls flying into the building with his back, and the G-Man flies in and attacks the one who almost beat the Speakerman with his lasers. We see a lot of changes in G-Man after his fight with Titan TV Man in episode 47, where he took a lot of damage due to the sound and purple laser. Came in wearing the goggles he wore in episode 49. In this episode, he attacked with lasers instead of his eyes like he did earlier in the series, so G-Man still can't use laser attacks from his eyes because of the damage. There are 4 more lasers headphones to protect from sounds increased protection. His pronunciation Skibidi Toilet. Yes became quieter and more ominous. I think this is due to his changes and defeat in episode 47 when he couldn't speak from a loud sound that could break his voice. As I said in last season's analysis of episode 56 that it won't be long before they meet, and that G-Man is always close to the captured Titan. Speakerman, except when he really knows he will be safe or having done damage to him, G-Man immediately sees the signal and flies to help the captured Titan Speakerman. Using his 6 lasers, he creates a big explosion. By the actions of Titan cameraman, we see that he does a lot of damage and he has to get rid of him first, otherwise he will be very badly hurt. Attacking, they attack each other with explosions and grabbing G-Man Skibidi. He falls with him, creating a big explosion. Further, what happened to them we will see only in the next episode. Getting up, the Titan captured Speakerman wanted to deliver a huge energy blast. Plunger Man wanted to use this chance to get rid of the parasite in him and jump from the roof and reached his neck with a jackpack. But the captured Titan Speakerman felt, or Skibidi the parasite saw him, then he pulled him out of there and he threw the plunger at him, hitting one of the speakers. The captured Titan got really angry and threw the Plunger Man against the ground. We can see how falling to the ground he lost his legs, and all burned. We lost one of the main characters of this series, who appeared in the 48th series and throughout the series was a strong opponent. But now it is clear to us why the Plunger Man was thoughtful. In episode 55, he must have been told that he had to get rid of the parasite inside the captured Speakerman at the right time, even if it was at the cost of his life. In Series 48, there was a cameraman in a white suit. In Series 54, we could also see cameraman dressed as well. If he is mechanized, I think he will help his friend and mechanize him, and he will become stronger than he was before. Maybe this cameraman is in another region or continues to get stronger to fight the Skibidi Toilets. But the cameraman watching this situation is not dead. Perhaps the rescue team will drag him to the base, and he will be repaired with his memory. So for example, it has already happened with the same equipment we see in this series. Maybe in the continuation of episode 57, we will see Titan TV Man get fixed and he will come to help Titan against Titan with G-Man, or we will see other weapons that will help Titan in the battle against them, or he will fight 1 against 2. I think he may fail against 2 because he doesn't have good long-range attacks and he will need help, or like in episode 32, will want to capture Titan Cameraman with the help of Skibidi Parasite. They both have become stronger over the past 10 episodes, and if they lose the fight, they can trap him in a trap and seize control of it to surpass the operator in strength as he did with the other Titan. As I said earlier, this series takes place in the same area. The cameramans had time to gather in one place, so it turns out they from the first series in this area were heading towards those who were in the second series of this area. And after the attack of the captured Titan, they decided to meet in another place by introducing him there. In Series 56, we remember that there was a TV man who was very angry and told the cameraman that you had the one job. Then teleported somewhere. Maybe we will see his help in the continuation of Series 57 or help from TV Man's in 4 days. At the beginning of the series, we see the continuation of the fight between G-Man and Cameraman, where he reveals his defense near the core, and G-Man, knowing that the core is a weak point, used his lasers. But I don't think he was expecting to be hit by the blue flames from the core, which caused him to stop attacking with his lasers and get dizzy, which caused the Titan to fly higher and hit him in the head with his hammer, leaving him on the ground. We saw in the first part of the series that he didn't have the hammer, most likely like the shield he took out of his body, and unfortunately, we are not shown the moments where he hid the weapon. After G-Man fell, he went to fight with Speakerman, perhaps. We saw also not all the improvements that Titan had. After their collision, a sound wave was created that threw the watching cameramans off the roof. In this episode, we see how evil Titan was and that he had no mercy for anyone, tipping him over. Many Skibidi began to defend Titan because he was strong and no one wanted to lose him. The first enemy he faced was a Skibidi with tattoos and swords striking his thick armored steel, his weapon jamming a bit while he took off his protective helmet. When he took it off, we see how afraid the Skibidi is of him by hitting his head with 2 hands on both sides. The Skibidi is killed and he destroys his arms to make him fall. Then a second Skibidi attacks and tries to take control of the Titan, but fails and destroys him. When Titan turned to Speakerman, who was preparing his energy charge, and firing them almost didn't fall tight, and then he started charging them again. But we see the teleportation of TV Girl, who teleported to the top of the speaker. I think TV Man from Series 56, who was angry at cameramans, asked for her help, but if Titan couldn't overpower G-Man, hold his hands, it wouldn't have worked. So I think she was warned before teleporting. Why didn't TV Man himself help? We saw his strength in episode 39. He could also handle the parasite. Most likely he is one of the main staff, and it's not his responsibility, or he decided to put it on someone who is better able to handle it. Maybe someone else is watching the battle, or those who are sitting on the roof were there from the beginning to inform the organization about the attack at the right moment to Speakerman. TV Girl gets rid of the Skibidi parasite that controls Titan, and he wants to get rid of her, but cameraman Titan holds his hands out. After G-Man came to his senses, he decided to launch an attack against Titan. He no longer had two guns with lasers and goggles with headphones, and he was all scratched and wounded, but all the cameramans who were on the roof started shooting lasers at him. On the roof was Camera Woman, and she commanded all the squad who were on the roof to attack him. He started to get distracted by them, and then when he heard the sounds of the Titans, he realized that he was about to Speakerman, and so he decided to retreat and flew away with an angry face. When the cameraman turned to the Titans, he saw her get rid of the Skibidi parasite and put a confused look on her face. After jumping off the Titan, she took the Plunger Man. In the analysis of episode 57, I talked more about it. She took it to fix it and make it more powerful. There was another cameraman downstairs who was stuck under the roof collapse and cries for help. Help to TV Girl to help him too. And we see how he lost all hope and dies right after that. He looks a lot like the cameraman from episode 54, who loved TV Woman and also tried to hug her. Maybe it was him, and she reciprocated his feelings just like that. Are almost all cameramen expendable for aid and destruction, but there are some special ones who are only protected. Maybe only the brave ones are saved, or those who can still be saved, because this cameraman had no legs and died immediately. Looking at the Titans, Titan throws the Skibidi parasite out of Speakerman and kills him. He was still alive after TV Girl's attack. This is because she only used purple light against him and didn't use orange light for fear of burning all of Speakerman. It's finally time to release Speakerman. A sad song is playing because since episode 32, he's been in control and destroying his allies, and he can remember everything he did in his captured state. Yes, you can say he doesn't remember anything, but after watching episode 37, we realize that they are only under control, and when they lose it, they instantly attack their opponent. Yes, that's their job, but I don't think without realizing where you are and who is around, they would attack. Standing up and looking around, Speakerman is very sad about what happened here and flies away. Yes, there is a possibility that he doesn't remember anything as he had a big Skibidi parasite on him, or already a Skibidi that was just controlling him. He was changed a lot, and also a lot of effort was spent on his defense that maybe he can know a lot about Skibidi, and in the next episodes, we will see attacks on labs and Skibidi bosses. After the defeat, G-Man will take a long time to recover again. And now there are already two Titans under Cameraman's control. He can improve and make him equal with Titan. There is a chance that Speakerman doesn't know anything, because if Skibidi scientists made such a mistake, they might come after them soon. After everything that happened in episode 57, he flies away, but where to? I think he flies to Cameraman's base because it took a long time to free him, and he needs to be examined and changed. He flew there probably because of the signals in his body, or TV Girl gave him the task to fly there. And the series ends with them finally getting the job done and giving each other the thumbs up and freely going to attack Skibidi. Next, without big obstacles, like in episode 56 when Speakerman attacked the cameramans. Why didn't Speakerman use that sonic boom? He did in the first part of episode 57. I think it's because he was badly hurt after Titan pushed him against the building, or it took a long time to do that attack. Also wondering why G-Man decided to turn around on the cameramans. It looks like Titan could have gotten rid of G-Man completely that time because the normal attacks started to hurt him and he decided to change direction. But then why did Titan stop and not continue his attack against G-Man to get rid of them for good? I think it has to do with his assignment. To free Speakerman, he was ordered to free him, and if he got rid of G-Man, there would have been a chance of him leaving and after a big improvement. Also, after such a defeat of G-Man, he can ask for more improvements from the scientists, and also he can come up with a plan to capture Titan, which will give him a huge advantage. But knowing that Speakerman was at the scientists of Skibidi, there is a chance that we will then see the Titan created by Skibidi. Also, we can notice that G-Man and the first Skibidi opponent of Titan did not say Skibidi. I think that they can hit the vocal cords, so that they no longer say these words, or scientists have learned to make them without their words. I think the first enemy didn't talk because it was an improved Skibidi from episode 42 who couldn't talk and quietly snuck up on cameraman and killed him. There is a possibility that we will sometime in the future see Skibidi toilets that used to be in the series, but they are no longer made and not seen because of the improvements that are made in the labs. We sometimes notice that after many episodes come improved old Skibidis, and G-Man's head also made very protected to the blow. because the usual Skibidi and bosses after such attacks did not survive. And you are really wondering what will happen in the next episode, because G-Man lost and Speakerman was released. What will the Skibidi scientists do to prevent themselves from being destroyed, or are we nearing the end of the series? We will see in the next episode. At the beginning of the episode, we see the Skibidi trying to eat the cameramans, who are on the pole for fear of being eaten. While kicking the Skibidi, we hear him saying, "It's like he got stuck and couldn't continue speaking." I think it's because he was expanding his head and speaking so strangely, but remembering episode 10 with the Skibidi preacher who could also expand his head. When he expanded, it just took longer to say the last part of the word, like in episode 11 with the Dovolo, like one who did the same thing, and this Skibidi just repeated a few times. I think it could be because he was not a big, strong toilet who could do that, but just an improved Skibidi. Yes, you can say that he pushes him with his foot, and because of that, he says those words. Even if he would extend his head, they are still strong and not easy to stop with a new one. Besides, we further see that it didn't stop him from speaking normally. He is not the only one who could lengthen his head. In the next scene, we can see the Skibidi lengthen, taking half of Cameraman's body. Most likely, the scientists were able to give all Skibidi genes that are able to lengthen their neck for some advantage in battle if they are needed. After that, we can see a Skibidi with spinning discs, and with his arms with which he can easily kill cameramans. He was modified based on the other two Skibidis that were destroyed in episode 49. He is different from them. Since then, they decided to make him more secure by making him 4 arms and make a big jetpack, with which he can fly away quickly and also have an advantage in battle. He has his eyes completely closed, but it won't save him from firelight attacks, and everyone he kills remains on his hands. I think in the future, scientists will figure out how to get rid of this problem. We can hear that he doesn't say Skibidi, but makes other sounds. So we are getting closer to Skibidi that won't speak. It's not the first time when Skibidi doesn't say anything or makes other sounds. For example, episode 57, where Skibidi with Tattoo didn't say anything. I think this will help them only in stealth because the big Skibidis are noticeable. But if the scientists are so willing to make a mini toilet that they can send out on reconnaissance missions or make a small parasite that can capture Titans or stun them, then that would be a big problem for the organization. At first, you'd think he'd decide to run away from the battle with the Titan, but he comes up with a cunning plan to destroy it, but ends up hearing Skibidi get really angry at him and destroys him. They all didn't realize what was going on there and decided to turn around to see what was their mistake. He destroyed them all. But watching episode 57, after everything that happened, the smartest thing to do would be to send the Titan to the lab, because it's unknown what they did to him and whether he would be aggressive again or not. I assume that he flies to it while destroying the Skibidi who attack his partners, none of whom are able to match Titan's attacks. Their own weapons that they put on the Speakerman turned against them. In this episode, we can again see the man who is watching what is happening in the area. Now we know 100 that he is teleporting because he was in another area. And if he was flying, he would have been easily spotted by the Titans, and so he was able to get easily into another area. If you want to know what this man is in the series, I told you about it in the analysis of the 55th episode. Next, we can see how he is surrounded by flying Skibidis. From this moment, we can understand that they were given orders to destroy Speakerman because he is now a big threat to the destruction of all Skibidis. But their attacks do not harm him in any way, and he is calmly able to deal with all of them and alone. In this series, we really see the real power of Titan that he didn't even show in previous series. Yes, he used Sonic Boom and could make the speakers very loud, but with the power that we see in this series, he could just destroy always small units and never climb on another Titan without letting them pass on. When flying up, they all spoke very quietly the word Skibidi. This is also related as with the other Chainsaw Skibidi, because at the beginning of the video, we also heard the enemy at a distance, and they were on top of this cameraman, so it would be possible to hear quietly. If not, this will convince you. Then the range of the Skibidi from the 55 series is greater than theirs, and they spoke louder than them, and after the attacks, they stopped speaking. Already at the end of the video, we see another Titan who does not understand what is going on here and looks shocked as he has not seen other allies as strong as him. So he was very surprised in the series and then flies after him. In episode 57, We saw Speakerman fly away before Titan, and so we can understand that Titan is very fast. He was able to catch up with him even at such a long distance. Of course, there's a time gap, but he is on his tail. Most likely, he is watching him so that, again, there will be no trouble for the organization. But why did he stop to see what is going on? Most likely, he was just surprised by what he did here. Where did the Skibidi from the beginning of the video go? They tried to eat the cameramans. They must have attacked, but they couldn't fly. Most likely, they just ran away, so they wouldn't be destroyed, or they were taken away by the Watcher using a teleporter, because otherwise we couldn't see them. At the end, we see how happy they are, that they were saved. If not for the Titan, then they would have had a bad fate, and even in the worst situation around, they will show a thumbs up that they were saved. But maybe that thumbs up is not only that everything worked out, but this sign may show the clearing of the area so that other units can go to the EA court quietly. Why is the cameraman standing still and not doing anything? I think it's because when we watch him, we see cameraman's head on the same level. So the cameraman's legs were destroyed and he can't move but only film everything on the camera. Maybe Speakerman is going to the lab where they put new Speakerman parts, because that's the same direction G-Man flew in the 57th episode. And we can see the base where they make Skibidi with their scientists, but why he decided to fly there. There are two options when he wants to deal with all of them and get revenge for what they did to him too. He is flying to prevent a bigger threat that could be, for example, a big Titan Skibidi. After experiments on him, we're making something out of captured robot humans from the organization. In 56 series, Titan had a very long reloading time to shoot from it. But in the end in this series, we see that he can easily shoot it once. Yes, in the beginning of 57 series, we also saw the same attacks, but they were not so accurate and fast. I think it was because the Skibidi parasite was not fully able to control the body, and Titan somehow resisted him, or it was hard for him to control such a big body. If you look closely in the series, you can see cameraman who could have flushed the Skibidi but was so scared he just ran away. I wouldn't wish such a partner on my team. Yes, you can say that he flushed them, that's why you can't see them afterwards, but we didn't hear any toilet flushes, and he ran past them. Maybe it's his first mission. He failed, and also almost didn't kill his own through his own fault. And it bothers me that some Skibidi stop fighting someone and get distracted by Titans or other characters. No one wants to see someone die, but why do they do that? I think in this episode, he wanted to fight a stronger opponent instead of fighting the weaker ones, but there are moments like in 49 where he stopped killing them. I think he was surprised and scared so they can also have feelings like. I think so, and we have seen it so many times. But they have less emotions than people and organization, because not all cameramans are afraid, and not all of them can be as heroes as Von Two's man or save their ally from under the roof, but TV Woman didn't even look at him. But in justification to them, I can only say that they have war and not love. Unfortunately, they can't save everyone in love. Someone they don't like, it's life. Next series will be the end of the season. Let's see what will be waiting for us, and I think it will end quite beautiful. I would like to see how they will fix the Plunger Man and see the Titan TV Man, or at least find out what's wrong with him. And what are you waiting for in the series? Write in the comments.
At the beginning of the series, we see cameraman running to help his partner. This Skibidi looked very strange. Not many of them know how to turn their neck and make it so thin. It turns out, in the next series, we will see more of these Skibidis, and someday we will see them more intelligent. Then they could deter attacks on their bases, and would have more defense because they curl up like this usually only when they are flushed. It was a few times when it happened, but I will show an example of 41 episodes where they twisted to flush themselves. Yes, you can say that, so can do all of them. Only in 46 episodes. Although he heard the steps, but could not expand his head to destroy in the back of the Skibidi or just fly away. Yes, he was held by cameraman, only it would not affect his toilet. To the left of this toilet, there was a man standing in the textures of the trunk. Who is he? This is again the one who is watching everything. But if the cameraman saw him in such close proximity, why didn't they attack? Except that he teleported again without any glow. Why wasn't it there? Because it only appears when he appears? It turns out that this agent stood and watched everything longer than this series started, as it was in series 55. Maybe in episode 47 we saw this character, but the footage didn't get to the anti-Skibidi organization. But even if it did, why don't they do anything to the person who is in the area of the battle? I think it's because they were given the task of not touching people and not paying attention, like it was in episode 8, when they were just walking and people were watching, so their task is not to help people. Probably yes, they are just fighting against the Skibidi themselves, and they don't care about the rest of the environment. Yes. You can say that he just teleported to avoid being seen or caught, but the cameraman already saw him, and he could have done it for that reason. Only the cameraman didn't even look in that direction and didn't say anything to his partner. We always look behind the cameraman. If he sees it, then we see it too. It's a very strange situation. That's why I think they don't care about people as it was before. In the beginning, we also saw Big Cameraman laying on Skibidi's head trying to wash him off, but he can't do anything, especially after the explosion from Big Skibidi. Why Cameraman didn't rush to help him? It's not the first time when partners leave their friends to die. It happened in episode 58. Why is this happening? I think everyone has their own goals in this war, and there are traitors who pretend to help so they won't be recognized, and he was giving all the information to Skibidi. But why would Dafook teleport to find out the information? Maybe the spy is giving the information initially, and he's already watching what's going on. But it's still weird because he could just be watching them. Next, we see a huge Skibidi. He is bigger than the others. I think it has something to do with the creation of titanium. And as we approach the scientist's base, we see more enhanced ones with stronger abilities. If the person behind the Skibidi is now watching everything, he will take action to stop them from advancing further. This Skibidi looks very unusual as it was in episode 55 with the skull, but why don't they keep reanimating dead Skibidis? It used to happen. It's because it takes a long time, and they are now trying to create a Titan Skibidi with which they will keep winning battles. I already talked about it in the analysis of episode 58. It appeared because of the smoke. But why did the smoke happen? We don't hear him moving even after the smoke. Before that, we heard explosions. It turns out after them, he just approached them, and that smoke was near Cameraman. When the operator looks at the Titans, they fly together. Although in 58 series, Speakerman flew away the very first, it turns out the second Titan is faster and stronger than him. Yes, I agree that it should be logical. After all, he was created after him. But after all, G-Man also improved him, and they gave a fight to many Titans. But Speakerman will still be more agile than him because he is lighter. Picking a slam. Not everyone will be able to. He had a lot of missiles, but he didn't use a single missile. It takes a long time to use it. Also, comparing him with Titans and G-Man, we can understand that he is very slow, but why? I think it's because of his equipment, which weighs a lot. But why do you need such a Skibidi? Because he didn't even do anything. We see how Titans move from one area to another. They didn't get the information about Titan's release, also that they clear the areas very quickly. Titan Cameraman also has great speed. In a few seconds, he was able to put a lot of weapons in his mouth and then push him away and blow him up with his weapons. Just why didn't they just flush him out? As I said before, they may not care about humans, and the main thing is to destroy all the Skibidi. Then they don't need whole buildings, but I think there are shelters for humans. Because I already told you in the past videos about Cameramans that they are made of human skin. Except that the flying Skibidi's missiles went off faster than his when he was attacked. What's that about? Maybe he was shocked that the Titan was freed or the wires that directly interacted with the missiles were broken. Even after many missile hits on the Titan, he still survives and flies on the toilet. But how? Because the toilet is directly dependent on the Skibidi. We have seen this in many past episodes, where after their death, all the equipment was turned off. It turns out that during all this time, the Titan could master the use of the toilet or could not finish Skibidi to fly to this place. After we see how they did the job and shows a thumbs up and come out a lot of Speakermans. The last time so many of them we saw in 29 series, where they were quietly dancing and they were killed by glitched toilet. Maybe they flew to the region where they lived and there was a base of Speakermans, but there before they could not get there with the army, but with Titan they got there. Only Titan was the first to fly there. It turns out he got information from his friends where to fly to help them. Some of them started dancing that they were finally saved. After they all came to the Titans, the cameraman looked at them and saw them shaking hands. They became good friends over the course of a few episodes, and the Speakermans have been waiting for their Titan to be released for a very long time. So it's a great reward for everyone that it's finally possible to destroy all the Skibidi with the help of the Titans. If they were joined by the Titan TV man, then I think the three of them had no obstacles. As we know, it's the end of Season 19. As usually happens in the beginning of new seasons, something very interesting happens, and maybe we will finally see Labs or improved G-Man with his elite allies. Against two Titans, we have to make several opponents and trap them to separate both of them for capture or destruction. Besides, they both have strength equal to G-Man, so we will have to make Skibidi for a long time. Last time we saw the weapon that electrocutes the Skibidi in 55 series, why it is not there now? As I understand, this weapon is not enough for all cameramans, and in some areas where there are big battles to which you cannot reach, they cannot put weapons also. So they need Titans to free areas from Skibidi. Otherwise, if Titans disappear, they will again lose battles, as it was before. Yes, with the advent of Titan Cameraman began to win more battles, and now every battle is a victory for the organization. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put a bell to not miss new videos, and put a like if you like the video also to support our channel. Well, and this video ends. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.